Thank you so much for joining us this morning again on the exciting edition of the Camnet TV Breakfast Show of today, Tuesday, the 3rd of January, 2023. Happy New Year to you. I am your host, Miriam Kaimba, and in studio, of course, I'm not alone every time I come on this breakfast show. I'm joined by my beautiful colleague, Zipporah Mshara. Good morning, Zipporah.
Good morning, Miriam, and good morning to our viewers.
And a happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year to our viewers. I think
exactly.
We have been missing in action, but we're back.
We are back
for good this 2023 to bring for you the community breakfast show every Monday and Tuesday. So, Miriam, what are we expecting today?
Okay, so much, Zipporah, has happened in the last couple of days that we have been away talking about grade 7 exams, grade 9 exams, where we saw the ECZ, the Examination Council of Zambia, announcing the grade 7 and grade 9 exams last week. We also talking about the big elephant in the room, which is load shedding, which has started today. I hear that some parts of Lusaka, they're already experiencing that, Quite sad, but anyway, we really look forward, to great things as we head toward this year. But anyway, we expect our viewers out there to tell us what they would like to see their community leaders in the community doing for them. Zipporah, a lot of people have complained so far about the road, poor road network, especially in Mandevo. I saw a clip on social media on Facebook where the road was in a very bad state, very, very bad state. So the people are calling upon their area member of parliament to come on board, and they said, hey, my guy, this is 2023, you need to come on board and look on this road, given the fact that, we are in the rainy season, talking about issues of floodings and all those kind of things. But anyway, we have so much in store for our viewers this morning. And before we go into details and, talk about what we have for you this morning, every day, Zipporah, we always try by all means to, exercise. And one of the things, yes, I was about to remind you. I was about to remind you. You told me that one of your resolution in 2023 is to wake up every single day in the morning and exercise. Are you doing that? Today is the third day. Today is the third
I'll
day.
Start today with the viewers out there. We need to start together because we love them so much. We need to start together until we finish in December. So let's just have the morning boost.
Hello. It's another edition, and you're still with me, Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy, here at Trans Fitness Gym in conjunction with the Camnet TV. So guys, today I'm going to take you through the bicep curl, because I've been seeing a lot of you, so many people, like they are doing it like incorrectly, and because it works on them, so they think that's the best way to go. So here is what we are going to do for today. Okay, so I'm going to teach you the correct form. Okay, so you stand straight, you hold your barbell like this, make sure you pin your elbow to the sides, and also the wrists should be also in form, so that you should be bouncing with the weight as you are going all the way. Okay, we are going 1, take a deep breath, 2, let's go, 2, 3. So as you are doing this, avoid your body swinging, and also as you are taking your bar up, avoid taking your elbow back. So just pin your elbow to the sides, to take it slowly, slowly. So make sure that your chest is up. Okay. So I've noticed some of the people, what they would do, if they can't able to control their swinging, they can't able to control their posture, what they will do, they will just lay their back against the wall, then also they start going. But also that's the best form. So that one mostly we do it when, or maybe the weights are too heavy. So we are going to go for the second one. Put it nicely. So the reason why I said you have to also engage your list as you are doing this bicep curls is that when you take it up like this, and now the hustle comes in when you are lowering it, you would find that it's controlling you. So the best way, come up with a nice posture, then you go all the way here, 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 and we can call it a day. Yeah, you've been with me, Harrison, aka the Fitness Puppy. Stay blessed.
I hope you had a wonderful stretch, because Miriam and I were all exercised, and this is our 2023 resolution. We want to be fit and healthy, because we've noticed, Miriam, many Zambians don't have the culture of exercising.
No, we
That's why
don't.
you find that maybe someone is just in their 40s, they look like they're in their 60s,
Yeah.
We need to make sure that we keep fit, so that you keep aging backwards. The numbers are going forward, but you look, younger.
And when you talk about exercising, you need to ensure that you eat healthy food.
healthy as well.
Yeah,
Not,
exactly.
fast food.
Fast
and all that.
food, hungry lion, the bonnet yet you're
All of
exercising.
that. So you need to make sure you eat healthy. And talking about health, let's just have a look at the health corner and see what advice the doctors have for us this morning.
Hi, good morning and welcome to today's health segment on the Breakfast Show. I am Dr. Nakubia Namfaya. This week we are talking about malaria, and yesterday we talked about what malaria is and how it comes about, and we discovered that malaria is a parasitic infection that is spread by mosquitoes, and this only happens when the mosquito bites you and is spread by the female mosquito. So today we want to discover what are the symptoms and signs of somebody that has malaria. How can you tell that you have malaria? So there are various symptoms, and there are so many symptoms, but I will highlight some of the symptoms that are very critical and cardinal to patients that have malaria. So these symptoms include patients who have malaria would have headaches, they will have a fever, they might have weakness, they will have body pains and just generally feeling ill. They might also have other symptoms like yellowing of the eyes, they might have abdominal pain, they might present with symptoms of vomiting, nausea, and sometimes they might have a large spleen. And this is because the red blood cells, as they are being destroyed in the body, they are destroyed in the spleen. And so the spleen will be getting bigger and bigger. So malaria is very prevalent in our communities, and there are so many people that die from malaria every year. In Zambia, we still have a number of people getting sick of malaria, and we need to be able to know that malaria is treatable and we can go to the hospital and get treatment as quickly as possible. So these are some of the symptoms to look out for in people that you suspect might have malaria. So if somebody has a headache, somebody has fever, somebody has nausea, vomiting, weakness, do not hesitate to take them to the hospital, because malaria can kill if it is not treated in good time. So today we are learning that malaria has various symptoms, and some of the symptoms, the common symptoms, are headache, fever, weakness, nausea, vomiting. So make sure that you look out for these things in your family members, your friends, and people in the community, so that you know when to get help and when to get treatment for malaria. So that's the end of today's segment. I hope you have learned something. Look out for other interesting topics that we will discover or talk about this week in the coming days. So keep watching The Breakfast Show and keep watching Camnet TV. Thank you so much for watching.
There you have it. Those are some of the symptoms that the doctors was just giving us on someone who has malaria. Zibra, your thought on that?
Yeah, and you know, Miriam, talking about malaria, it's been quite a long time ago. Yeah, like, I remember the last time I got sick of malaria, I think that was in 2011. So, like,
Really?
it's been ages.
Really?
In 2011, but if you remember when we were young, back then you find that you get sick of malaria quite often, your whole family gets sick of malaria quite often. So I think right now we've done a good deal, you know, in terms of combating malaria. But of course there's still a lot of mosquitoes around, but they say most of these mosquitoes do not carry malaria. Is it, for example, Lusaka?
Lusaka, yeah.
It's a malaria-free zone and all that. Yeah, but you still see the mosquitoes, you know, they still cause us harm in, you know, they don't want to have mosquito bites. But anyone, we're glad that they do not have malaria. But one problem I noticed in communities as well is the issue of, you know, this stagnant water and all that. So this causes, you know, breeding.
And you know, this is the rain season, so we expect that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, I hope like by 2030, because we've got all those goals on health, we'll be able to completely eradicate malaria. Because, you know, in Africa, malaria still kills people.
Yeah, it does.
It still kills people. It's still that serious. Some people even have malaria, don't even know about it, just being told at the hospital, oh, you have cerebral malaria, it has progressed. And
you know, every time you get sick, we love this self-prescription medication where you would say, I think in fever or in fever, let me just go on a nearby pharmacy and, you know, buy medicine like this. You become your own doctor, not knowing that you have malaria. Yeah.
So anyway, we just have to make sure we get checked. And you know, Miriam, when you go to the hospital, most of us don't, when you're told go to the lab, you will go home and start Googling and go and buy the medicine.
We don't want to get tested, but anyway, this is a new year. Things need to change.
It's not malaria, they'll test me for HIV, what, so yes. Run away. End up going to...
But you know, that is for your own good as well. That is for your own good. You need to know how your body is behaving. You need to, you know yourself. You need to examine yourself and ensure that you
get it. Sick at the last minute and everything, you know, you can't treat something like that. You can't treat something,
you know, you can't. You can't.
You know, quite interesting. I'm moving on to Zooming. In fact, just now open our phone lines so that you, our viewers, can participate in our topic of discussion. At 7:30, we will be discussing the automatic progression of pupils from grade 7 to 8, which has been stopped because you know that previously grade 7s were progressing. But Miriam, if you remember back then, us used to write exams, isn't it? You write an exam.
You write exams, and when you fail, you need to repeat.
Some people repeat grade 7 until they pass. Anyway, so what is your take on that cancellation of the automatic progression?
But anyway, before we go direct into that, let's see how the Kwacha is performing against other currencies. Major things, people. You forgot about it.
This is 2023, and you know me, we bypassed December. Well, it said 10 kwacha, so.
Exactly. So we have the United States dollar. They are buying at 17 kwacha 91 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 26 ngwe. We have the British pound. They are buying at 21 kwacha 52 ngwe and selling at 21 kwacha 94 ngwe. We have the euro. They are buying at 19 kwacha 07 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 45 ngwe. We have the South African rand buying at 1 kwacha 05 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 07 ngwe. Already there is the point where our expectation, what we spoke about last year.
And last year, this is so long ago.
No, but it should be. It should be anyway. It's last year. We are focusing on the new year. Looking
So
at how
it's
the
now
quarter
on
is
the 18th.
performing, yeah, it's 18.
And by the end of this year, I wonder it will be, but we just hope for the best, because some financial experts have expressed concern that with the introduction of load shedding, we see the economic activities
Reducing,
so
especially.
this could further cause the kwacha to depreciate. So
Yeah.
we just hope for the best for our country. As we head to 2030, we want to be a prosperous middle-income country.
We hope we will achieve, we will attain that goal.
We'll pray for the country.
Exactly, we need to do so. We need to do so. But anyway, moving forward, let's zooming in the headlines. What are some of the stories that we had yesterday?
So yesterday we saw one story from Patrick Soko from Kulima Tower bus station, where the issue of flooding has continued. And I'm sure, ma'am, if you visited Kulima Tower bus station in Lusaka, like just after a downpour, there are those people who are even charging now. They're saying jumbo 5 kwacha. Can you imagine? Let them just be one kwacha. It's now 5 kwacha.
You need to be innovative. Huh? There's so many ways in which you can make money. You
So
need
it's
to be
flooded. So that just shows you the seriousness of the floods, whereby people are even charging for you to hire the boats.
And
to pass through the bus station.
Zippo, it shows you again another interesting thing, that people are now being innovative. They're taking advantage of the situation to make more money. You see? Yeah, but it's quite sad. I hope that the relevant authority, which is the Lusaka City Council, will try to do something, working on the lasting solution on the Kulima Tower bus station. The floodings are every year.
Every year. So people are wondering, like, what happens when the rain stops? Does no one, when the rain stops, people need to actually work on that thing.
Yeah, because last time we were told that the reason why the floodings keep on, happening at the station, that it's because of some block drainages. But we were told they are currently working on them. I don't know when the construction will be done, but anyway, this is something that they need to work on as soon as possible. And ensure that people don't get affected more, given the fact that we're already in January. Come February, still more will be experiencing the rains, and if this situation is not dealt with, it will be one and the same thing. It's more like we're going round. And it's not every time that they're going to manage the power. Every time it rains, they bring in the fire brigade.
No, that's not sustainable. Just needs a permanent solution. The flooding. Anyway, let's just take a look at that story that was done by Patrick Soko.
This is the Kulima Tower bus station in the central business district of Lusaka. For a moment, one may be compelled to think that local government and rural development minister Gary Nkombo's aspiration to curb vending has been attained. But no, this is a temporary vacation necessitated by flash floods. Owing to the lack of drainages, the traveling public continues to be inconvenienced, as every time it rains, floods become the order of the day. Those who operate around this station say the situation is even better compared to the recent past, following some interventions by the local authority to unblock some drainages. And those interviewed by Camnet TV News are concerned that poor drainages coupled with poor garbage management becomes a huge problem during the rainy season.
Bati tulafirwa kutandika twapa abantu tabeshi ngakwalo kemfula pata twatandike ni tatwalie amenshinga ile lo kemfula yapita twakwato kutandika kwetule papa tabyo kuti bapitirishe nchido ya kuti bafwasulula madrenage kuti amenshi yale pita madrenage fetulelanda
business upo ibada iba business fimenshi full zame with the 50 years jubile yali pita zame na ikura Zambia for the mano. I mention full for every day I mention. So try to mention Piapa. Get one for Bantu Manzi. Vacanzo, Posego Mano Vini Mure Bomba. Mama drains you, my drains you, for every day. No mind, was so in Biazi. Wow, Monaco Fungus about to want to bus Parasti. Never get a pass, no was a messy message in Gira. Papanzi, no business, Panzer.
By broadcast time, the local authority was not available for a comment. However, it is with hope that the council will find a long-lasting solution to the perennial drainage problem. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Quite interesting there, Miriam. You know, that's the same situation, and now if you look at that thing that's now been mixed with garbage, and so now we're talking about, you know, the increased risk of waterborne diseases and all those other things. What's your thought on the issue of flooding in Lusaka? You know, last time my sister was telling me when she went to Ndola, she was like, I was telling the people there that, I'm coming to do news stories there of flooding. They're like, which flooding? Flooding is on in Lusaka. Yeah. So, like, what have other towns done which we can actually emulate? What have they done? For example, Ndola, the issue of flooding is not as prevalent as it is in Lusaka. Yeah. What have we done wrong as a country?
Yeah. As a province. Lusaka district, I don't know what we have done wrong, but
we need to plan overall for the whole country.
We need to plan, yes. It's the issue of poor planning, Zipporah, if you ask me, because this issue has been there for quite some time, for years.
And the Kanyama issue, I'm sure it's still there.
It's still there. The flooding, it's still there. We talk about Kanyama, talk about Mississippi, talk about John Lane, talk about Mutendere. It's still there.
And you look at most of the toilets there, the pit latrines, the shallow wells.
Correla.
That's a disaster.
Yeah. Anyway, we hope that the relevant authority will try to, to work on a lasting solution so that we ensure that we put an end to this issue. Definitely. But anyway, moving forward, Zippo, yesterday we saw the UPND, which is Gilbert Lusani, so they are having a press briefing where he warned some of the party members of issuing threats to the opposition. We saw last week where some UPND youths, I would rather call them youths, issuing threats on economic and party leader Chilufya Tayali, where he was about to feature on one of the radio stations, and he was issued threats that they'll follow him and do all sort of things to him. So yesterday, the UPND were just issuing warnings to those people, saying that, this is something that the people voted against, and this is something that the president has warned people about. We don't want cadreism, we don't want opposition members being threatened by those in the ruling party. We don't want to see, us going back again to what we came from. This is not what we want. Your thought on that?
Yeah, and previously, if you remember, the UPND used to cry foul against the same thing. But we need to make sure that, like you said, we don't go back to the same issue. You need to, respect freedom of expression, association, assembly, and all those other issues. People have got the right, to go to any radio station in a democratic country.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think what I've noticed, maybe as a journalist in my news coverage, is that the issue of cadres is still one thing that the current administration needs to deal with. Because there's still that old mindset saying whatever they did to us, we should do to them. Yeah. So I think there's really need for mindset change. I expected a lot of change with the issue of cooperatives, but I don't know what happened. I thought people would be busy, doing some businesses, but I don't know really. But the issue of mindset change, that's one thing that is important.
We need to work on that because, a lot of UPND youth still have that mindset, that we need to go back in the markets and, take over because we cannot fight for all these years until have nothing. We can't form cooperatives and stuff like that. But hey, you need to go and form that cooperative and work. Already the president made it clear that he doesn't want to see cadres in the market. There should be rule of law, and he doesn't want to see lawlessness where people are now issuing threats on opposition leaders. And again, Zipporah, it is also, good enough or prudent enough for opposition leaders to be conscious of what they are saying. You just can't be insulting people anyhow, in as much as it is in the name of freedom of expression. And when you are arrested, no, you cry foul. No, you shouldn't be doing that.
Well, let us take a look at that story and join us in discussing various topics today. So we have officially opened our phone lines just now. So just after this story, please call us and give us a view on what we're discussing today.
Program. Chingola Tatulele, we are still alert as Trafaga Bomba extremely ordinary.
The move taken by the ruling United Party for National Development UPND cadres to prevent opposition political party leaders from appearing on a radio program in Chingola and Mufulira townships on the Copper Belt has been condemned by the party youth chairman Gilbert Liswaniso. Mr. Liswaniso, who briefed the media in Lusaka Monday morning, says opposition political parties have a duty to give checks and balances to the ruling administration. Hence, they must be allowed to do so without fear of being harassed by political party cadres. He has since warned that any political party cadre who will be disturbing the works of the media will be dealt with accordingly.
I'm appealing to the youths across the country that nonsense of 2022, where we are tolerated in you to do whatever you wanted, not now in 2023. We won't beg you, we won't go and kneel to you, no. This is a part in government and we are leading people. So people want to see sanity in this country. You can't be doing exactly what our colleagues were doing in opposition. You want to do it now. We are saying no to it. So I want to make it very clear that what happened in Florida, that is not politics. What happened in Chingo, that is not politics. There are many things which this government has done in 1 year. Why can't you go also and talk about what we have done? To go and rebut.
The youth chairman has also urged UPND members who are complaining of being sidelined despite allegedly sacrificing for the party to take up many opportunities that have been presented to all Zambian people, adding that no handouts will be given.
We won't plead for you. I have seen the issue of saying in a Nachi Serenzela Manini, Nachi Kutikachi Pan, everybody fought for this party. Even the one who was giving his order fought for this party. The one who gave us a shelter to go and do meetings fought for this party. Have you ever seen them insulting? The answer is no. Even the one who was drumming support, Ulizangoma, he supported this party. The answer is no.
Mr. Liswaniso also had a word for police officers in the country.
What I want to tell the police that I'm not going to agree with you. What is happening in Copper Belt? Monde, my sister there, whereby you are busy torturing the UPN member, I'm saying no to it. And your language is very bad. Even your fellow persons are complaining. Here in Lusaka, the same gesture. You know. And all the names of you notorious one, I'll take the Home Affairs and so we start dealing each other. Or you call them, speak to them. Because when you are doing that to the members of UPF, don't turn against Saka engagement. A PF is being arrested, the same officer said, the president said, give them police bond. You give them by hand. A UPND, the president said, Bamangi. That language is very bad. The president has said, give police bond if it is necessary for everybody. In that matter is a PF with UPN, give them, treat them the same. I think if IG, the message we are hearing is very clear. That's the message.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
I hope the message is clear there to the view, to the cadres. I just said to the cadres, Zippo.
To the youth.
To the youth. But I hope the message is clear. You know, my concern is the thing of reminding the police to do their job. It doesn't sit with me well. No, it doesn't.
It's not coming from the correct source.
No, it's not. The president, he's the commander of all armed forces. He gave the directive, and he was very clear. He's on record. People should act upon that. They shouldn't care whether it's coming from the ruling or the opposition. If they break the law, they should be arrested for that. And you just can't say, no, because when it's UPND, you say, no, the president said, you know, don't arrest them. And then when it's the opposition, give them the bond. I think that statement was misplaced by the chairperson from UPND. Personally, in my opinion, was very misplaced.
Yeah, anyway, but I just hope that message on cadres was actually, clear and straightforward. And Miriam, last time I remember challenging the UPN saying, get rid of your cadres, just as from a genetic point of view. And they're like, no, you can't get rid of cadres. Even you're a cadre. You're a cadre of Camnet. So they're saying, cadre should be someone who supports you. So they're saying, we are all cadres of something, So they're saying maybe they should have mindset change, but not really getting rid of them. Because we've seen other political parties, Miriam, like, is it the one for Anford Banda, People's Alliance for Change. We have not seen cadres there. New Heritage Party, we've not seen cadres there. We just talk about policies, and I think that is really that reduces issues of violence and all that, because you don't hear that no Heritage Party and UPND collided. It's just PF and UPND collided all the time. What about these other parties?
These two major political parties in the country would most of the time claim that because they're big, their party is quite big, opposed to other political parties. That's the more reason why you don't hear these political parties colliding with other. Yeah, but anyway, we don't want to see that. Like you said, we want to see opposition political parties which are going to criticize the government based on facts. Okay, we talk about policies and all other issues. Yeah. Anyway,
just now we move to our first topic where we're discussing the scrapping off, or should I say, the scrapping off of the automatic progression to grade 8. So our phone lines open. Give us your view on this, what has been done so far. Is it a good move? Is it a bad move? Is it going to actually increase or enhance the quality of education in our country? What is your thought on the matter? And Miriam, I think we do have a story on that.
Yeah. So we had the story last week, which was done by one of our colleagues in the newsroom, where the minister announced the grade 7 and grade 9 results, and also indicated to the grade 7 that this year, 2022, meaning last year, would be the last automatic progression of or grade 7. So meaning when you fail as a grade 7, you need to repeat your exams, and if you don't want, please go to TVET and do other skills. That is something that the minister did advise the students. But anyway, let's just get direct into playing that story. We'll continue with our discussion.
The enforcement of automatic progression from primary to secondary school in Zambia by the Patriotic Front-led administration sparked a lot of debate, with many teachers' unions and stakeholders opposing the move. 6 years after the policy was enforced, the United Party for National Development UPND-led administration has, however, decided to suspend the automatic progression for all those who sit for their grade 7 compost examinations into grade 8. Announcing this development in Lusaka Friday, Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima says 2022 is the last time automatic progression will be in effect.
I wish to inform the nation that this is the last time automatic progression will be in effect. Effective 2023, the Examination Council of Zambia is directed to introduce a fair grade in order to end the automatic progression of learners from primary to secondary education. Candidates who will fail the grade 7 examination effective 2023 will have options, including repeating the grade 7 examination to enhance quality, or they can go and do skills at the level.
The minister has also announced that out of the 284,880 candidates who sat for their grade 9 examinations this year, 154,304 candidates have obtained certificates, while 104,010 candidates obtained statements of results.
Of the 284,880 candidates who sat for the 2022 examination, 154,305 candidates obtained certificates. This represents a marginal decrease of 0.2 percentage points from 54.43% in 2001. A total of 104,010 candidates, representing 36.51% obtained statements.
The minister also had words for teachers who have refused to obtain practicing certificates and has directed the District Education Board Secretary in all districts to deal with the matter.
Your colleagues in the health fraternity they are scrounging to go and get their own practicing certificate. So you as teachers who make doctors, why wouldn't you be proud to have a teaching certificate? Already we are employing teachers whom we are sending abroad. Recently we employed 30 teachers to go to Seychelles. You cannot go and teach if you don't have a teaching certificate. So I implore on all the teachers to be compliant, because this is the best that we can do.
Meanwhile, the Examination Council of Zambia, ECZ, says it has curtailed all form of examination leakages and says it will continue to offer examinations that meet international standards.
We will ensure that the reforms we implement will be those that will help learners be able to perform better, be better focused in terms of career aspirations, and that they should be able to get enough time and support to ensure that they excel even in a better way. So the examination reforms will begin next year as well.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Quite interesting views there. And I think for me, this is a very, very good move that government has put forth, Zippo, because there's no way someone would write an exam and then all of a sudden all of you pass. Exam is more like a challenge. They need to test your mind.
Because that's more like a mockery, like why an exam?
Why an exam? Go. Yeah, you should just say go without writing an exam. So I think this is a very good move. And you know, I think this is also beneficial looking at the fact that we have free education now. So you'll find that if they continued with this thing of all grade 7 automatically progressing to grade 8, you'll find that they will have a lot of learners in class, which will be a challenge and, you know, disadvantaging other slow learners.
And we're talking about quality of education.
Quality of education.
Not just quantity, but quality. So I think it will actually help, you know, bringing back the quality of education.
Yeah, very, very good. Anyway, if you're watching us live on Facebook, please drop us a message. And those watching us in your comfort of the home, please do call us and give us your thought on what you think about this move made by the government of saying that, you know, effective this year, 2023, all grade 7 learners will have to ensure that they pass. If they fail, they need to repeat their exams or rather go to Teveta. You know, someone was telling me. Someone was telling me, you know, you'll find a grade 7. A grade 7 is 14 years or 13 or 12 years. Why should they go to a skill training institution? Yeah. So those were just some of the concerns.
We're talking about, is it introducing entrepreneurship in education? And I think this will be really helpful, for example, if someone fails. Because remember last time they were saying they should introduce, is it a 2-tier education system where you find that they're teaching both theory and skills? And skills, yes. So from a very young age, they taught skills and theory. I think a long time ago, Miriam, that used to be done. In primary school, you find that, anyway, it's still there, maybe like, is it home economics? It's still there, whereby, I remember a long time ago, you learn how to bake cakes, even sewing, you know, you can even do tailoring, you bake, you do, I think that's really helpful.
But how effective is it?
Yeah, so that time it was just
it's more of an option. It's not everyone who takes that. It's more of an option subject.
It's an option.
Yeah, so it needs to be made compulsory, which allows for everyone to take part in that.
Yeah, so that if you fail, you know, like we need to make these things like, you know, like woodwork, we need to make them realistic, not just for the sake of learning. They should be realistic to the point that someone can use the skills in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe start a sewing business, you know, start selling even school uniforms. You become an entrepreneur.
And you know, I've seen a lot of people getting married last year, this period, you know, you become that very good tailor and ensure that you saw something, a nice wedding dress and the kitchen party dress. Yeah, make money for that.
So do call us and give us your views or what you think on the scrapping off of the automatic progression from grade 7 to 8 by the current administration. Is it a good move? Is it a bad move? If so, what are your reasons? What do you think? What is your suggestion as we try to enhance quality education? Because you know that we have sustainable development goal number 4 by 2030, which is to be achieved by 2030, which says achieving universal quality education for all. So we're not just talking about universal, but universal quality, meaning that those without quality are not supposed to progress until they actually, you know, reach that status, that standard.
And if you make them progress, But anyway, I would like to get your genuine view on this. Do you think the move by government, you know, to say, you know, effective the 2023, you know, pupils won't automatically progress to grade 8 if they fail exams? What's your genuine
my view,
opinion?
when me being someone who wrote exams, I think exams are valuable because when you talk about schools, each school has got a cut-off point. Each school has got a cut-off point, you know, like in terms of, you know, acceptance letters and all those things. So there's that issue of quality. So you find that if you don't qualify, if you want to go to a certain school, you really want to go to a certain school, you end up rewriting. Yeah, so I think it's really helpful.
But you know, some of the people might say, you know, grade 7 exam, you know, when you get those result statements, they're not really relevant. Some of them would even have my grade 7. Some of them would argue that they're not really relevant. Your grades useful, yeah, useful in any way. Anyway, they're relevant, but for you to progress to another, you know, class, but they're not useful in any way in terms of job employment. Let's talk of you know, you complete your secondary school. Some would require for you to start maybe a general job. Maybe you should bring your grade 9 certificate. So why should we continue having pupils who should write grade 7 examination if they're not useful in any way? They're not going to help someone, you know, get a job, even of a general work.
Yeah, because mostly they're not considered.
Yeah, they're not considered. It starts on grade 9. So those are the questions that, you know, we should also look into, in as much as we are saying, okay, this is a very good move that government has bring on board, because it ensures learners, you know, to put focus and ensure that they learn more hard, they work more hard. But again, what's the benefit? Okay, what's the use if we're going to have this exam? And then when you want to be a general worker anywhere in life, and later on, as you are waiting, you know, to go to college and do other skills, you're told, no, bring your grade 9 certificate, and then you.
Yeah, because for me, I've never even been bothered to go and get my grade 7. It's still at my, you know, primary school. I'm like, what is it for? It was just, I don't know if I can even find it when I go there. Maybe I can find it.
Basically, I did not as well. The only thing I got was my grade 9 certificate.
Grade 9, grade 12.
Grade 9 and grade 12
yeah,
certificate.
Tertiary as well.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's really food for thought, you know. Maybe we should, maybe the grade 7 exams are too simple.
Yeah.
Maybe we should make them, you know, have a certain standard whereby you can even use it to get some form of employment.
Some form of employment. As a general worker, you can have that.
As grade 7. It sounds funny, like bring a grade 7 certificate. It sounds funny because we know that we've not, in the past, we've not really considered, we've seen it like a joke, you know, just grade 7. But you find that people actually fail. So it's something that should be considered. People fail and they write. So we should consider our grade 7 certificates. We should be using them.
We should, definitely, we should. And I hope, you know, the relevant authorities are watching us this morning and, you know, getting something. And, you know, would like to hear from the parents out there. What are their views, their thoughts? And I'm sure, you know, we should, our newsroom, suggest our newsroom to go on the ground and just, you know, get different views and from the parents as well, and other stakeholders, what they think about this.
Anyway, definitely quite interesting, Miriam. And moving on, we have the elephant in the room.
Anyway,
we do have a call.
Yeah. Let's get that caller. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
You're talking to Douglas. I'm calling you from Chipata.
It's good to know that Chipata is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yes, madam. For me, on this issue on the street in Suffolk town, you see these people who sell there, they throw their litter anyhow, anywhere. Actually, they throw their litter in the drainage itself. How do you expect the water to pass through the drainage if it's blocked? At the same time, the same people complaining say
Thank you so much for your contribution out there.
I think I was commenting on the earlier story.
The earlier story that we did of floodings in Gulimatao. I think it's a very good point that he has brought out. You know, people always run to council, you know, government, boma, but yet, you know, we are the same people of, you know, throwing litters anyhow. And in the end, we are.
I think we should put CCTV on drainages. You construct a drainage, you put CCTV as well. Miriam, it's a serious issue.
It's a good suggestion.
That road leading to Kamloops shopping mall, Kalingalinga shopping mall, there are a lot of drainages there. But look at the drainages, Miriam. They are full, packed with diapers, everything like that, completely packed to the core. They're packed. The drainage is almost full of, you know, takeaway packs, this and that and that. So when rain comes, what happens? Those things will just go onto the road. So I think it's a really serious concern. We're talking about fines and all that, but really how many people are going to report someone? Even just reporting how quick is the action going to be taken. By the time that person is gone, you know, because you need to catch these people and make them examples. So maybe CCTV, the council should consider putting CCTV along with the drainages, because it's a serious. So we're talking about.
I agree. Anything is possible. I agree. You know, this is 2023.
Public property, you know, vandalism of public property. We're talking about water.
And you know, it's a crime. It's a crime already because you can be arrested.
We have another caller here.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
We are talking to Scott.
Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yes. On education.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yes. We are talking about is the education in fact exam, or we are teaching our students to be responsible. Because when you are teaching first degree settlement at 9, then that is not really responsible. The real education is to teach our students to be responsible. In any stage you attend to, whether your health is seven, whether you're into school, but as long as we teach our children to be responsible citizens, and that is education. Now, last night someone was talking about education, saying they are not supposed to be progressive. They just must be progressive to grade whatever. No, it's not the way that God. No, we must know who is doing better. If you're not doing better, we must know who is better than just pushing because of political. You understand? We as the government, we are saying we must progress the opportunity. We are not supposed to progress. That is political. Let's be real and begin to know what is best for our children, especially in the blended environment. We cannot employ everyone. We cannot take them to school. But we can educate everyone to be responsible citizens. That is what is called education. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love one point that he has emphasized, Zipporah, on. We cannot employ everyone. We cannot, you know, bring everyone on board. But what we can do, we can offer everyone an education to ensure that we have responsible citizens. Very, very good.
And it's like, because, you know, the other time I was reading some document where they were talking about developed countries. They were saying most developed countries have invested in, they look at their citizens as raw material. Like not just like cities, they look at us as raw material. So they say, we're raw material needed to develop, so let's invest in this. So they look at human resource as raw material, so that the more they invest in the human beings, you know, the more developed, because you have many skills and all that.
Imagine here, they look at you as raw material.
Because, yeah, so they are the raw material needed for development. So if you're invested in, it means the whole country will develop, will benefit. Because once you're educated, you know, this one comes with this skill, that skill. And what's important, Miriam,
even the time that you're having, you know, different conversation, you know. There's a level of intelligence that you're able to pick up from someone. Anyway, before I finish the thought, let's get this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show.
Yes, good morning.
Who are we talking to this morning?
Louis calling from Mafinga.
It's good to know that Mafinga is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yeah, I want just first to start with the education issue. The move that was taken by the minister to scrap off automatic progression to grade 8. That is the wrong move. In fact, we will delay it. We could have started this sometime back. Because what used to happen, everyone, whoever sits, even if they are not capable to go to grade 8, everyone was pushed, which was a mockery on education, in my own opinion. Now, like this, we are going to have those who progress to grade 8, those who can actually do something. Not where even one who can give you the right his or her name is in grade 8. So, repeating will help to clean up the education system. But I feel that is not again us. I feel we should also go the practical way of education system. You know, we are too theoretic in our country. We have got a lot of theories put in pupils. So many subjects that pupils take. I think if that one also can be looked at. Look at the practical part and look at the number of subjects that our pupils are being exposed to. Then there are issues that I wanted to comment on. It's over the issue of political scandals. I don't know exactly if the youth chairperson meant exactly what he was saying. Because if you look at those two groups, both for, I'm sure they are both for Chingola and Demofreno. Those people can be identified. I'm sure even by him, he know those people who are in those groups. Now, if he is honestly that anyone who is ill will be expelled, why not just going out to say, you and you have seen you, I know you are expelled from the party for the misbehavior that you are doing there. But not and not spending again only when you are feeling the people who are doing bad, are putting the name of the party in disrepute, and then you pretend as if you don't know them. It was just experiment from there. Then he goes on again to touch on the police part. If he tries to tell the police that no, don't do them anything because he is seen as a political party. No, that's not the way he's supposed to come out, to be honest. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much for your contribution.
Thank you so much.
So, Miriam, the issue of, I think my interest especially is the issue of the political cadres, where it says just saying in general terms, we're not pointing out. I think if they know the people, they should call them to the offices.
Yeah, and
tell them you're doing this, please stop.
Most of the times, I think you have observed, we have observed, the general public has also observed. Even in the previous administration, we also observed where if their political member is found in doing something illegal, activities, lawlessness, and sort of that, a general statement will be made,
Maybe it's to
warn you. But Zipoy, you'll be expelled. You know them. The clip is there. There's evidence. Expel them. And if there's need to take them to the police, take them. Because issuing threats like that to someone, it's an offense. Okay? The next minute, if they're found dead, the issue will be upon you. You have murdered them. Maybe you had done a hand in their death. Because you just can't issue threats on someone's life like that. Yeah.
And also talked about education, saying it is a welcome move. It's been long overdue. It has been a mockery to education. And but Miriam, like we said earlier, well, we need to actually ensure that the certificate is worth something.
Yeah.
We also talked about the issue of the long-standing issue of the subjects. We've been talking about this for a number of years, saying that too many subjects, you know, where people learning about Shaka and all that. But for me, the Shaka issue was a good one because it's general knowledge.
It's general knowledge.
You can imagine just knowing about Zambia. Someone asked
and you know, it's general knowledge, and I'm glad that you know, it's part of Africa. You need to know your culture. You know, you need to know and understand this. We just don't want to learn about the European history. We also want to learn about the African history. So it's somehow important.
They got one formation. You know, someone one day was saying, no, you were just, you know, doing those things like Moka is saying, the cow formation is not helping me to earn money and all that, trying to show that maybe the issue of subjects is not needed. But anyway, that's for the technocrats to actually debate on and, you know, decide on the final thing, because I'm sure they know what is best for our education system.
Exactly.
So
anyway,
moving on, Miriam.
Moving on, Zippo, we now go. Anyway, let's get this last caller before we go to our next topic. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
We are fine, thank you. You're through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning? It's good to know that Shilawombo is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir. Could you kindly reduce the volume on your TV set? Because we're getting feedback.
Maybe it's background noise.
Okay, please go ahead.
Please call us back. I think we can hardly hear anything. Please call us back. We can't hear anything. It's breaking. Please call us back.
Though I got some of the concerns that he raised, that the grade 7 they're very young, the grade 7
But how?
nowadays, and he also
Maybe because they start at 5 years?
I don't know, and he mentioned about the move being progressive. And you know, again, Zippo, yes, we want, you know, children. I wanted to say our children want children to, you know, complete their education at a very young age. But you should not put pressure on someone who is very young.
I don't even know what the rush is.
Someone who is 10 years. They've written their grade 7 exam.
Someone who's 10?
Yes, I've seen that on social media. Someone who is 10 years, they've written their grade 7. Yes, the child is intelligent, but don't make them skip grades. No, you know, they'll reach at a point where they have to observe, you know, put in a lot of things into bulk, and the overload of work, they will not manage to, you know, to sustain or manage it. So, we should learn to make our children, you know, go in the right step. Don't make children skip grades. No, it's not necessary. Someone who is 10 years, they've already, you know, written their grade 7 exams. By the time they're 11 years, they're in grade 8.
Anyway, Mira, moving on, we have the elephant in the room, which is load shedding. For example, myself this morning, I left home, load shedding has started because many people have been expecting load shedding since, is it 15th December? Is it 15th December?
15th December, when the minister on the 3rd of December announced that effective the 15th of December will have load management. But we didn't see that. Anyway,
I have seen for myself. I was so upset. I'm like, what's happening?
But anyway, we were warned yesterday that effective today, load shedding is starting. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering about our marketeers out there. And one thing, Miriam, I think maybe we'll do a check, maybe like after 2 weeks, to see how the charcoal business is doing.
Yeah, and you know, this will have a lot of huge impact on the SMEs, you know, those small businesses. They'll be greatly affected, especially those who run small timbers, you run a blow business, you know, you're a welder. They'll greatly be affected with this. But anyway, let's play that story where Zesco Limited says the rotation load management will be effective Tuesday, the 3rd of January 2023. Zesco Limited spokesperson Henry Kapata has announced that the power outage in the country will be made more compounded due to the planned shutdown of the generator at Mbala Collieries. Mr. Kapata says about 150 megawatts generator at Mbala Collieries will shut down due to the planned routine maintenance and will commence from 4th to 8th January 2023. So this is the more reason why we are having this load shedding. But anyway, let's get to playing that clip that our colleague did yesterday and just see what the ZESCO spokesperson had for us.
And so this inability to meet the power demand will further be compounded by the planned outage of about 150 megawatts generator at Mamba Collieries Limited Power Plant for routine annual maintenance scheduled to take place from the 4th to the 20th of January 2023. You realize that a Mamba Thermal Plant is a partner to ZESCO Limited, giving us about 300 megawatts from their plant. In most cases, they give us about 265, 67, because part of it is used for internal operations as Mamba Collieries. Now, the generator outage at Mamba Core Thermal Plant, coupled with a critical low water level at Kariba Reserve, will lead to ZESCO Limited, carrying out a rotational load shedding exercise, which will now commence on the 3rd of January 2023. Okay? Now, to mitigate the effects of load shedding, ZESCO Limited will endeavor to optimize electricity generation at all other generation stations to the extent that the integrity and safety of the power system is safeguarded. And so ZESCO Limited will continuously notify our customers and the public on the power availability status through various electronic and print media. And customers are obviously encouraged to look out for the load shedding schedules in the press and the company website, which is www.zesco.co.zm, once published.
Quite interesting there. I don't know what is interesting, but anyway, load shedding has started. I'm so sorry that you are the first person to experience that in your area. Yeah, you are the first person.
I just woke up this morning, just plugged in my phone, no response. I went and switched on the light because I sleep with the light over. And load shedding has started.
Oh my God!
So all my plans of drinking tea were shattered.
Yeah. Anyway, so one of the things that he said was that Mr. Kapata says they're going to mitigate the effect of load shedding. ZESCO will endeavor to optimize the electricity generation at all other generation stations, and that the power utility company will continue to notify the public on the power availability status.
Mm-hmm. So, that's one thing that I don't really like, but I will continue telling you, meaning there's no definite day. Because I remember the last press briefing I attended 2 weeks ago where they were saying, they said, we're saying 6 hours, but don't take it as gospel truth. It depends on the situation at hand.
But when you're giving people an announcement, don't you have to come up with a concrete, way of saying things like, okay, this is the standard that if it's 6 hours, it's 6 hours. It should not go beyond.
They said it will either increase or reduce depending on the situation. So they're saying, so it can reduce or it can increase, so it will be updating you as we go. So that was the message that was given. They're saying this is simply a guide.
And right now we haven't been told how many hours, but I should think it's the 6 hours that we were earlier taught. Should be.
And we were told it's a guide.
It's a guide, yeah.
I don't know if it's I do remember the load shedding. Is it 2016, 2015?
2015 there.
We had 15 hours a day.
It was awful.
That was bad.
That was bad.
That destroyed a lot of businesses. But anyway, we hope for the best. And we hope that as Zambia will continue seeking solutions to our problems.
No, imagine you're owning a butchery and then, you have this hours of load shedding. The damage that is going to cause to your business.
There was some adverts 2 months ago where they were saying, want this business for this and that, it's to do with the butchery. And they've been considered. And then now I'm just thinking, now if I had done that, by this time it would have been disaster.
But this is the more time you need to be innovative and, get yourself a genset.
Job.
genset. And those who are selling, you know, solar batteries and what, this is time for them to make money. Exactly.
So does this not do this business or that? So it's like, this is a good side hustle, you know, but then I'm looking at the load shedding now, you start making losses because it was unexpected. Before then, because obviously you need to plan ahead, you know, genset and all that. But this just came out of the blue. Do you have the money for the genset? And all that. Anyway, but last time,
you know, a week ago I was with a friend, you know, colleagues from Zimbabwe attending some programs, who told me that in Zimbabwe, they had about 8 hours load shedding. They currently have 8 hours of load shedding.
8 hours per day.
Yes.
So that is something else altogether.
Altogether, yeah.
And quite interesting. What are your, apart from load shedding, what other expectations do you have from the UPND administration in 2023? What would you like them to do for you? Of course, maybe when you talk about load shedding, people don't want to say let them load shed. They want to say let them not load shed. So apart from that, what other issues do you feel the UPND should handle in 2023? So do call us and give us your expectations from the UPND administration for 2023.
Zippo, talking about expectations from the government, what are your expectations as a citizen of this country from the government in 2023? What are some of the things that you would love to see change, you know, and you would love, you know, government maybe to introduce and work on certain areas?
My view, I'm going to speak from a journalistic point of view, is for MPs to answer phone calls. MPs in 2023 need to answer phone calls from journalists because, you know, we're on the developmental agenda together. Every one of us is a player. So when you call them, we need to alert them about a problem that is prevailing in the community so that they work on it. Not just, you know, sitting in parliament, but they need to answer calls
and
from
say, yeah.
They need to answer calls from journalists when, you know, you tell them there is problem, they need to go down in the community or maybe send councillors to make sure that
and, you know,
these problems at community level are handled.
Those are quite so serious issues that we have continued to have, especially as from the newsroom department where, you know, you need an urgent response from this area member of parliament, but they'll tell you, no, I can't comment right now. Or don't call me, or I'll call you back. They don't call you, or right now I'm busy. Sometimes they don't even answer you.
Come election time, they go and kneel, you know, before the people, but really, are we doing it for personal gain or for the development of the country?
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Anyway. And apart from that, of course, the issue of roads, you know, road network, and also the issue of CDF. I'd like to see more people benefit.
Yeah, because we have
the ordinary people.
We exactly, Zippo, would like to see the CDF changing the lives of ordinary citizens.
Not these political parties. No. We want to see everyone. I want to see that.
We didn't say just because the cadres have now been told to form cooperative, it is them only. No, we want to see ordinary citizens benefiting, and this is one thing that the president has been on record and emphasized more, that he wants to see the lives of ordinary citizens in the country, you know, changing for the better as we achieve the 2020-30 agenda as a country.
And what are your expectations?
A lot, Zippo. Just like you mentioned, MPs to be answering calls. And one thing I would like the government, you know, to own up, you know. This is a time where we don't want the blame game. We want to see them more in action. We want to see them on the ground. I would like to see various ministers working. We see various, sorry to say this, but a lot of ministries, we don't see them doing their intended purpose.
Like most exactly. Like, that's the minister.
Exactly. We want to see them on the ground, you know, doing more work than them sitting in the office and just doing announcement and announcement. No, this is a time for, it's a new year. It's a time for action, you know. They only have like 3 years in power.
And I saw that, you know, is it on Patriotic Front page, one of these pages on Facebook, you know, they're counting down. But really, instead of focusing on, you know, the next election, we should focus on development.
We should focus on the development of the country, because this is what we want to see. And this is the more reason why people change government. It's because they want to see development in the country. When you see a different administration not performing accordingly to your expectation, you bring in a new government, because at the end of it all, you want to see development. And for me, development is what I want to see in the education sector and all these other sectors. And also on the issue of electricity. We were promised, Zipporah. They are on record. They told us they'll come up with solutions, and this is what we want to see. We don't want 5 years from now, after 2026, You know, if we have a government telling us again, the issue of no, there's no water at the Kariba Dam, we have this fault and so. Yes, sometimes, you know, these things we cannot have control of them. Some things are, you know, they're not. It's human nature, but anyway, we can put in other measures to ensure that the impact is not much on us as we experience this. Yeah.
And 2023 also expecting some more recruitments from the government,
yeah.
like we heard last year, and also expecting more recruitments, you know, to reduce unemployment levels.
And this is a very good thing.
And it's for them, civil servants, they have received 10.5, the famous 10.5, I hope.
Yeah, it's very good for them.
By one time, they're going to be enjoying that 10.5 increment.
Interesting for them. Very, very good. Very, very good.
So anyway, what are your expectations as our viewers, talking of the issue of load shedding and many other issues? What would you like to see from the European administration in 2023? Are they performing to expectations on the community level? Have you seen the change that you desire to see? Talk of CDF. What expectations of CDF this year, given the experience that we had last year? What would you like to see the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, do this year? Because, ma'am, you know, if you remember 2 weeks ago, we were discussing, is it 2 or 3 weeks ago? We were talking to Ruben Mwenyachilenja, our 8th councillor,
yes.
we were talking to Kamala, our 5th councillor, Minda Smart, and they were saying, in their words, Miriam, they've done no single thing in 2022 with the CDF, because they're saying the same procurement procedures, but really, is this money for decoration? Why do we have processes that are hindering the use of the money? Is it like, you just release it, just say, oh, CDF has been released, but it's not doing the actual thing. It's just for, you know, decoration.
For decoration,
So
I love that. I love that point for decoration. Indeed, we just don't want to talk about CDF on paper. We need to, you know, see it into action. Yeah, exactly.
In 2023. So really, but then the good thing, Miriam, we've been told that it will not be called back. The CDF will not be called back. And you know, I have to follow up, Miriam, with the, is it Kamala at 5 Council Mendas Matawe said they're going to write letters this year. They're going to write letters to the Local Government Service Commission to recommend for the firing of directors at the Lusaka City Council, because they've been sitting on CDF. So he says, no, I'm going to write a letter to, you know, maybe they even have names, you know, this person, they're hindering the use of CDF, fire them, because they said, as far as they're concerned, they're the ones responsible for, you know, clearing the paperwork, which will see the procurement done and all these other issues.
But is it just a point? Anyway, I hope they'll use the right channel and just not, you know, writing a letter to ensure, no, just because you have some, you know, some issues with someone, and then you just write a letter, or because that person is affiliated to maybe a different political party. This is the more reason you want them out of office. But anyway, I hope that the due process will be followed when they're doing that. Yeah.
And talking of, you know, 2023 expectations, Miriam, another thing I expect is to see reduced incidences of cadres in bus stations and markets. Remember last year, of course, we were told that this has come to an end, but we heard a lot of stories.
Even last week, we heard a story where in one of our local tabloids where was told that cadres are back in the market. Yeah, so
that's one thing that we hope to see phased out
completely.
Together, because there's also been this issue at Lusaka City Markets over illegal receipts.
Yeah.
I remember, Miriam, I even told the ACC last time I like formally reported the matter to the ACC, where there was this issue where someone showed me that some bus drivers, is it council workers, working from Lusaka City Market have got 2 receipt books. One has got the logo of the Lusaka City Council, the other one doesn't. So they're saying the other one is theirs. So I find that they're going there to collect levies, they'll be giving 2 receipts. Some they'll give them the real one, so they're alternating. Then the other money they pocket it, you know. So that's one thing that has to be investigated. We're talking about, you know, getting every resource and making sure that it is used for development and not going to personal funds.
And if you look at one of the institutions which make more income, revenue, it's the Lusaka City Council, because they have to get money from the market, from the billboards, you know, all these things. And then yet you have cadres, you know, getting this money. 3 years, 4 years from now, we'll hear stories of, you know, council workers not getting paid.
I remember the protest.
Anyway, let's get that caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Camnet TV.
Good morning.
The voice of Munani on the line.
Okay, it's good to know that you're watching. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Thank you so much. I think I'll pick on the three items as they were on the menu. First, I have to start with the issue of Camnet. This is the farmer issue apart from the fertilizer issue. I think much as we know that Camnet is trying to provide checks and balances, but my impact from my advice to him, let's try to be realistic, not just actually just with one statement. I want to be very honest. I myself, I'm a voter of Monali. I'm actually a farmer right in the Monali West at Kazuga farming block, where I also happen to be a small scale farmer who is a member of a certain cooperative movement which is called the Kamdula Agriculture Cooperative in Kabungula Camp, Monali West. So this issue of him, whatever he has, people like those who are bring from Chingwala, let's say that's taking about 4 to 3 bags, it is not true. Sometimes you as media personnel, you must try to advise this to the corporation. You the same, it's not the technical of the Camnet or Prime TV, where you hear the farmers in Mukunta under a lady who is a child for this example, who are doing this exemplary so well. A farmer is entitled to 56 bags of the price of 3 bags for dressing and 3 bags for dressing. There is no farmer who is getting 2 bags, no farmer getting 1 bag. What we are doing, the problem is to do with the cooperatives sharing themselves. Okay? What we are doing, for example, the cooperatives are supposed to speak about 50 members. But instead, there are new members who they are actually disclosing. So they are agreeing that instead of our police staff to remain in the license, the best we do is let us try to share what the package. The same issue was here, this is not just a problem where others are saying we just agree to be shared. So there is no single farmer who is getting less than 6 bags. I hope on the issue of 50 percent was clear. Now I want to come to the issue of the drug shortage. I think for me, it is a good move for the Vice President to actually contribute to UNO so that they go on a familiarization to prove if at all there are shortages of drugs. And my advice to Camnet market, if it is true that there are shortages of drugs, let them come out openly. Because I think in the shelf is not going to do a job. Well, there is no one the president the president of Mexico, whatever, there is actually shortage of one drugs. And somebody, so who is saying you are the truth? SH1 says that he comes out open that we are apologizing to the Zambians that yes, to what is great in this. This is our secretary. Because of corruption, that was actually what which they are trying to use. You don't have a strength to look at. And that is the best good. For me, ultimately, the president, some of the ministers, they didn't need to go to the chapel. Because they don't deserve to be there, particularly those ministers who crossed over for PSO and UPSC. They are not talking at all. They are still wearing the cocoon of what was patriotic funds. The last one to do with my national history assessment, Honorable Juanito. We agree with you, yes, that the police officers, we then ask the Cheston, everybody is complaining about Cheston. It is true. This Abutola is not big about the bush. Everybody is complaining about it. That is just too hard when they can put the UK and the Canada. That man is well known to be a sympathizer of fear. Even the last time when there was that road rally, I mean road show, to do with United States, the same man, the officers even within the army of United States from various groups, they have been saying that it's a kind of women who almost was confusing us and Karima here. So for me, even if matters we are concerned, let's try to be very honest. Also, my brother Juanito was a woman, also in charge like that, he must tell Madam Boroma, message, he must be pointed out. The work also has opposite law, not the work here is man that is being corrected by Qatar, led by Kitanga, and the so-called America, then people are actually protected. That's not what it's the same there. But other police stations are doing so well. So why should other police officers? These people now don't have court and state and safety. Yes, some officers are so fearful. They are there to pay to each other. They are to listen. I thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, but Miriam, I think maybe of interest mostly the issue of drugs, which I've gotten from him. But if that issue is there, I experienced it myself 2 weeks ago, where like you're given this prescription and you find that maybe just one course is 150 kwacha. So now imagine for someone who can afford. So the issue of medicine is still there, and you know the prescription is annoying. You go there, they tell you don't have this in stock. Go
No,
and
just
buy.
take a paper.
Yeah, so give the paper, then I was told go to any pharmacy. So at first I thought maybe, in fact they said go to the pharmacy. So I went to the hospital pharmacy. They're like, no, we don't mean this one, we mean there, just go and get, a date stamp and then go and buy. From the pharmacy, just getting a death stamp, imagine.
Imagine the whole
They're
process.
going to buy.
And you're going to buy using your own money. You would rather just go
Yeah,
direct.
you're not going to get medicine, you're going to get death stamps.
So you'd rather just go. But anyway, the issue of drugs is something that is of serious concern.
It is of serious concern.
And I love the point that you brought out, that the Vice President should go around and see if the issue is serious. Let's get this caller. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. We can get you, sir. How are you?
This is Antonio.
Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
I want to talk about the issue of... Hello?
We can get you. Please go ahead with your contribution. We seem to have lost that caller. Anyway, please do call us back. And those watching us live on Facebook, please do send us those messages and we will be able to read them. Yeah.
And so you were talking about the previous
I was talking about the issue of shortage of medicine that he mentioned, and he mentioned something that the Vice President should make a tour and see if the issue of shortage of medicine is quite there in these hospitals. And if indeed it's true, then the Minister of Health, Silva Maseo, has something, an explanation to do.
I think they should just do the visits like impromptu without announcing. Because, I feel like if you know that someone is coming, you're going to,
you prepare. You prepare.
Yeah, but it's better if things are just impromptu. Because I remember the other time the Police Inspector General, Emeka Joba, did, some inspection around markets, the issue of cadres, and they're saying, no, there's no cadres.
Yeah.
But then after he went, they're like, no cadres are here. So really, we need to make sure
anyway, let's get this caller. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You are through to the Camnet TV Breakfast Show. Who are we talking to this morning?
My name is Ntoga Ndauza. I'm calling you from Matera.
Please, it's good to know that Matera is watching us this morning. Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Thank you so much. I looked at the situation at the Kulima Tower. It is very saddening that in a city we can have such a situation. And I'm looking at a situation whereby this time most of our civic leaders, I think, are not being monitored. If you look at in the olden years, each constituency had a constituency assembly. For example, here in Matero, we have a hall where we used to meet as constituents. So whatever we discuss, it would carry weight as the constituents. For example, we would sit down and say, what are our problems in Matero? Maybe we'll talk about schools, roads, and other things. There are certain things that we can do on our own as individuals. For example, drainages. We don't need to spend money on drainage. We just need to cooperate as members of the community through our civic leaders. If the drainage is at the case is responsible. If it is at a school, the school is responsible. If it is at a shop, the shop is responsible to clean that drainage. But this time, because our civic leaders, they don't meet us, they think they have all the solutions to the problems that we have in the community without any consultation from the members of the community. These are the results. Because the people who make Lusaka dirty are not from Kiti or Ndora. It is the residents. And it is us, the residents, who must keep our city clean through our civic leaders. So our civic leaders are not monitored. There's no monitoring system to show that they are doing their work. So I think this is one of the things that I thought civic leaders must be monitored. The 7 progression rate, what caused about that is that previously we used to have a cut-off point. But then what happened was that we had more schools than the number of children who wrote the exam exams. The cut-off point depended on the available places in grade 8. Now, with the introduction of basic schools, it meant that we had more places in grade 8 than the number of children that wrote grade 7. So where do you get your cut-off point? So this is how everybody was progressing. So unless we put up a system whereby we say, okay, we'll take a cut-off point, but we must also look at who have vacancies, a lot of vacancies we need, grade 8, because of the same cut-off point. So these are some of the things that we must look at, and we must know what caused this. That's it. I rest my case.
Thank you so much.
Quite an interesting observation there, Miriam. What are your thoughts even as you go towards conclusion?
My takeaway point, very quite important element that he dotted out was the monitoring of civic leaders. You know, there's need to monitor these people. We don't want to see them, you know, when it comes near the elections, they are now here coming on board, like kneeling, you know, being angels coming from heaven, you know, doing all those nice things to us. But this is the time that we need to monitor them. And I love one thing that he brought out, that the issue of drainages, it's upon us, you know, as citizens in the community, as residents, you know. If it's near a shop, you are responsible, you know, clean it, make sure you clean it. That, because Zippo, trust me, when you talk about drainages, littering around, it comes all back to the residents. In as much as we are going to say, no, we call for relevant authorities to come on board, who are putting those dirties in those drainages?
It's ourselves. It's ourselves. And you know, if it's when you talk about that famous garbage heap by Mtenere, it comes back each and every year. And last time I actually witnessed for myself, you know, this guy looking like these drug addicts, he was dumping garbage there in the night.
You know, talking about garbages, Zippo, last week, on Saturday, along Mwingu Road, somewhere in Mumba, like as if you're heading to Mumba, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in Mwingu Road, there's a place where there's a heap of garbages. It has even gone to the roadside where people are supposed to, you know, like a mall of a bus stop there. People can't even pass. It's along the road. And I was like, Jesus Christ, why? And again, you say, who is putting the dirty there? It's you, the citizens. So again, we should take responsibility of some of the actions that we are doing. We just cannot blame everything on the government. Yeah.
Quite interesting. Miriam, what are your concluding remarks?
Okay, my concluding remarks, Zippo, everything and almost everyone has said on some of the things that they expect from government, you know, to do in 2023. I equally expect more change, more action from the government, and less talk. You know, we have heard on several occasions speeches being made by different ministers, those in power, you know, promised this, but no action. This is a time where we want more action and less talk. People should go on the ground and work. And for ministers, I'll emphasize, a lot of ministers need to do their job. Yeah.
Ministers, MPs, at least councillors answer.
Councillors answer.
Say, oh, I can't do much, call the MP.
Call the MP, no, it's beyond me. Call this minister, this is responsible, you see?
Yeah, so I think, moving forward, communication is the key. Even whatever they're doing, they need to make sure that they communicate with the people and also hear from the people so that we work together in harmony. For our development. And really, Miriam, my concluding remarks is on the kwacha. By 2023, December, we hope for nothing but the very best.
Yeah, you didn't talk about fuel. It was reduced.
It was reduced. It was.
Yeah.
And I observed something in Cabo. The day fuel was reduced, they said like fuel has been reduced. Now the next day, like, you know, people are finding it hard to find fuel. So I'm wondering, like, is it a real shortage or are people hiding their fuel? Like, I was wondering what's happening. So that's really one issue that we still have to look at going forward, because you find that maybe some of these people hide the fuel when they see that it has been reduced.
And you know,
creating an artificial shortage.
The JCTR last week was saying, you know, this monthly review of fuel is having a great impact on the ordinary citizens when we bring it down to the issues of prices of commodities.
Bus fares.
Yeah, bus fares and all that stuff.
People have just maintained the same. If you go, for example, to Kulima Tower in Lusaka, you find that people have maintained. They don't no longer do this.
But you know, if bus drivers car tuish Mwandi's poorer, every time when say fuel has increased, they will increase. Fuel has reduced, they don't reduce. I don't know why.
But I think these days I've observed that I've just kept it. For example, when you talk about Mutendere, it's 16. Is it 16 kwacha? I think they've just maintained.
Anyway,
so I think it's for the sake of to prevent inconvenience every time. But you know, these local ones, they'll tell, no, it has increased. It's time to reduce, they will ignore it and do that.
Anyway, this is where we come to the end of our program this morning. Please do join me and my colleague Zipporah Mshara next week, Monday and Tuesday at the same time. It's bye-bye and stay blessed. Happy 2023.